Welcome, my name is Borja Javier Lanza López and I am a student of Universitat Oberta de Catalunya. This is my presentation about the state of the art of augmented reality, and it was done with the program LaTeX. Let's start with the presentations. Let's see the summary of my presentation, where we have 5 points. The first point is a little introduction about the history of the augmented reality that we are going to see. Augmented reality is not so new. Even with we associate the term augmented reality with the future, this technology has been in development since several decades ago. It's not some new technology that came for the future. Some was developed from the laboratory of third part to the most prestigious universities like Harvard. There, dozens of the researchers have been putting the best foundations that allow augmented reality becomes a reference for the development of a new paradigms in the human-computer internet field. We are going to see some of these important dates and terms that transform from the beginning to the reality we are experimenting now. In 1978, Ivan Sutherland, one of the pioneers in this field, invents the first head-mounted display for the virtual reality applications. You sure have seen ones that are like a helmet with little screens that allows the participants to see the virtual, or in this case, augmented reality work. 20 years later, Mike Weiser coins the term ubiquitous computing. Ubiquitous computing is a term that describes where you can connect to a system where you want with different dispositive or devices, like we are doing now. We can connect to internet in every place from a smartphone, from a portable, or a new these devices like wearables. 1 year later, Jared Lehner also coins the first phrase of what is virtual reality, and he gets involved in the commercial fusions about these virtual worlds. In 1992, Steve Feiner, Blade, Matt Hinter, and Dor Slickman presents the first major paper of an augmented reality system prototype that was called Karma, and the Graphics Internet Conference. 2 years later, in 1994, Paul Milgram described the reality virtual continuum from the real world where you are used to live in to the reality worlds that we were described, for example, by Jason Leinert. So we have several steps from completely real world to completely virtual world. In this case, augmented reality is in the middle because we are missing elements of the virtuality, but in overlaid our real world. Let's now define what is an augmented reality applications. To be an augmented reality application, we have to combine these 4 points that combines, as we said, real and virtual objects in a real environment, that registers and aligns real and virtual objects with others, that we have mixed reality. The virtual augmentation is based on dynamics, 3D objects that are interactive, and we can also see other virtual characters that, for example, we miss in a real world with all buildings and virtual characters dressed in that ages, and he is talking about this how was this world in that years. But to be reality have to be in runs in real time and in mobile mode because we need to move to real, we have to move our looking for, or we move around the place where the virtual reality application is running. What we need to get augmented reality application? What are the ingredients? First, we need a program and augmented reality applications. But the program needs some content to show to the user. To be a real application, that we need a grade of a degree on interactions that the user, in this case called participants, do some actions, and these actions or movings or have some reactions in the applications. We need some technology that allows us to program and interact with this technology. We need the physical world, because if we don't have a physical world, it will be a virtual reality applications. And of course, we need someone that enjoy and interact with the application, that in this case are called participants. Let's see what with descriptions, and our applications are software coded that take control of all the augmented reality experience, from the input of the images from the real world to the project of the graphics to mix with the real world, through managing the inputs of the users and the sensors to modify the graphic software. In the content, we said applications are the responsible of showing to the participants the content that is created by the designers. All objects, data, histories, narrations, rules, contents, and locations that define that augmented reality experience. Interactions also is very important, because if not, we are not living the experience, we are only showing. That is not a reality experience. For that, for a full experience with augmented reality, is needed some degree of interactions. Usually, these interactions take form of choosing the point of view, for seeing the art model, and pressing some buttons or using some sensors of the device. Other possibilities are moving, tracking, and voice commands. Technology, depending on which context, type of applications, and form of interaction we are using, we need different technologies. One basic technology is capturing images at columns and how processed images are shown to the participants. Also sensors that gather information about the real world. The physical world. As augmented reality is mixed reality, we need to put in a context in the real world, using some markers and location to trigger their art experience. And of course, this is for the users. So the participants, we cannot have an experience if we don't have someone whom enjoy it. A real person that interacts with the art application and chooses the development of the stories that tells the augmented reality application. This can be shared between several participants, making it a collaborative experience. But how we made this interaction, how the participants communicate with the augmented reality applications, and how it show us the mixed reality. As any other application, our apps needs a form that allows communication between the program and the participants. It must to be as much transparent, easy, and natural as possible. For that, we have 4 types of art interface. Tangible AR interface, that we are used to real physical objects and tools for supporting real interaction between our program and the real world. We are used to touch, to move, to feel the reality, and that is what this tangential R interface do. With this type of interface, a user can move target objects that have some patterns that the program recognizes and track, or push buttons or other interface based in gesture like grab, push, slide, press or move, like the Kinect, Microsoft Kinect technology allows that track movement. But in this case are physical objects that we are moving and touching. Other type of interface are collaborative art interface. This interface made possible that several people in different locations could interact together, like in a video conference, making great improvements in concepts like telemedicine, for example. That is that two doctors with an art images of the patients can make a surgery even they are in different place. Hybrid interface. If you use the combination of different but complementary interface makes a very flexible platform where augmented reality helps in performing different procedures. And last one, we have multimodal interface. Users can not only interact with an AR system with buttons, writing commands, and like we saw in Tangent interface, that also it can be used speech, hand or body movement recognitions. Or even we can control the application with the gestures of our face, like blinking. So we can give commands in a much more natural way, like we talk or move. These interfaces are very flexible, but users have to adapt their gesture to be as simple as possible to be tracked. If we move like crazy, like that, we sure the system will be harder to recognize us, so better short commands and simple, like move, change, or so on. This is one of the most used, where the most efforts are getting the researchers, and we are getting now like a new system like Microsoft Kinect, PlayStation Move, all are going to these systems. Augmented reality all have to be a real application to be useful. Usually we have a application that going to get to one of these 7 fields. Advertising and commercial use, where people get amazed because you can, with a paper, get a full 3D model of a car that you can move, you can set the color, so it attracts your attention, and you really can see much better a product that in a simple plain page of paper. Also, in product design, where as you can see the 3D object, you can model it even with your hands, and also is used to track real objects to get help to how to repair it, how to build it. Like for example, if get instead of an instruction of building a Lego, we can share, we can see the process in virtual reality, in this case mixed reality. In home decoring, one of the most used fields is in this, because we can place our furniture in our real room, in our real house, without having to buy it first. so we can plan easily our new decoring. IKEA, for example, have a very good augmented reality application. Education and cultural heritage usually focus on recover the look of some old building and how was in some era. For example, some Roman ruins can get alive with these technologies because you can put some markers, and with virtual reality 3D models of these old buildings can be placed. You can even see how people live moving in a very real system. Thanks for augmented reality. Entertainment, just funny. We have here a photo of a augmented reality game where some toys are playing with others. You see the green hexagonals that are where they can move the players, and also where they can shoot, and all the landscape can be easily transformed. From now there is not battle damage, but can be destroyed in seconds. Medical application that we talk about before with telemedicine. We will see some photos now, and the classic navigation and pathfinding with GPS that arrows and the direction will be showed us in this visual mixed reality with augmented technologies. For example, as we talk about, this is the screenshot about IKEA application where you can see that the room is empty, but with our device, in this case, several smartphones and tablets, show different 3D objects of the furniture. So it's easy to get the best looking for our home that we are want. And also, in this case, is medical diagnosis, where we are getting a layer overlapping the reality, where we are seeing in real time the thermography of the brain of this patient. So it helps very so well because we are getting nice information about the patient, where are the damages done, where if something happens, we are watching it in real time. For that, we need to see, because real augmentation applications are showing us information, we need a display to see it. In this case, the most common are head-mounted displays that we say that what was invented by Sutherland in 1986, that in this case from the big helmets that we are using now are like glasses with little screens. For example, the new product of Google Glasses, we are even less, is smaller than this. Handheld displays, that they are our smartphones and tablets, for example, PDFs, or anything that we can take with us in our hands. And a special augmented reality, that are installations or computers that are more fixed in a place, that don't move. They are big totems, or even are installations. For all the computer, we need some technologies that allow us. This can be, as we say, mobile workstation and wearable PC, that are computers that no are laptops, that are big computers that can be moved because have some batteries, or even have adapted to be wearable. This was the old fashioned way to take before tablets, PC, or laptops have enough power to run these applications. Later with time, devices become more powerful, have better and faster processors, and become PDA, and now are smartphones, tablets, and even single-board computers. This is all about the technologies and the state of art of my survey. This field, I like very much this field because I see the possibilities of get a better and easy life for many people, like all people, also how to teach children with new technologies, and even we don't have still achieved what we see in the movies, like Minority Report. We are taking nice steps to that direction. So I thank you all that you take some minutes of your life to listen me, and thank you for share this time. Bye.